Hello. You're tuning to the episode of The WunderkindShow Thanksgiving edition. Look. What's good, everybody? Hello. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully, everybody is having a blessed day. I hope you guys get to have, for everybody that's at work, working and doing stuff like that, hopefully you can get back home to your families, and hopefully all of you can enjoy a hearty meal that warms not only the heart, but the soul. So I love you guys. From The WunderkindShow, happy Thanksgiving. Now, let's get down to business. Mr. Stephen A. Smith. Oh, man, Mr. Ford himself. We got the schnauzer and the forehead, you know what I'm saying, that we're dealing with. One's a tip of the nose in front of the class. The other one's ahead of the class. You know what I'm trying to say? But this man now has pivoted to another hopeful MVP candidate to dethrone Lamar Jackson. And in this episode of First Take, he even got a little bothered. Like, you could see it in his face. Like, he was like, oh my God, why do y'all want him to win? So, without further ado, I'm going to play the audio, right? And then we're going to break it down further, all right? And the guy that he's talking about is Saquon Barkley. Now, to be fair, Saquon Barkley has been nothing short of amazing. It's been him and Derrick Henry for everything regarding running backs. But this notion that he's more deserving to the MVP than Lamar Jackson is comical to me. And here's what he got to say about it. So let's get this thing started.
SA?
Come on, man. Listen, I'm tired of this. Look, Lamar Jackson's in the MVP conversation. The brother's big time. I got that. They got 4 losses on the season. They ain't even in first place in their own division. And 2 of the losses came to the last place team. We just gonna ignore that. When they lost to Pittsburgh the other week, all right? When they lost to Pittsburgh the other week, Pittsburgh couldn't get in the end zone. They kicked 6 field goals, and you still couldn't beat that. Come on, Red. That's 3 legitimate losses. Now, granted, the opening loss against Kansas City, but that's 3 legitimate losses right there.
Baltimore's defense? We're not going to talk about Baltimore's defense?
We have talked about Baltimore's defense, but Baltimore's defense wasn't a problem when they held the Steelers to 6 field goals. Okay? That just happened a couple weeks ago. I want to hear that. Okay? That's number one. Let's take this into consideration. Saquon Barkley is on pace to rush for 2,150 yards. Okay? When you look at all the categories that he's leading everybody in, I just can't say enough. Leads the NFL 126.5 yards rushing per game. Leads the NFL, or leads all running backs 6.2 yards per carry. 12 touchdowns only behind Derrick Henry. 1,649 yards from scrimmage. Leads the NFL. And then when we get back to Lamar Jackson, we just going to ignore the impact that Derrick Henry has had on that offense? This ain't Lamar Jackson under normal circumstances where he didn't have a Derrick Henry to lead on. Derrick Henry legitimately won a couple of 4. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Lamar's greatness. That's cemented.
You literally just did.
No, what I am saying is we know how great he is because we saw what he did without Derrick Henry all of those years. But now that you got Derrick Henry, we can legitimately look at least a couple of games that Derrick Henry won for them. He just ran roughshod over everybody. And so when we look at it from that standpoint, I'm just looking at Saquon Barkley and what he's bringing to the table. When you talk about, how he's getting this amount of yards before a touch, Woody, how come nobody else on the Eagles was doing that? You know why? Because they don't have his quickness.
You know what? That's a lie, because the last 2 running backs are for the Eagles have both been paid, and one was a Pro Bowler last year, Swift. So I'm trying to wonder, this man is just lying. Why are you lying?
They don't have his abilities. That's why. They can't leap over people backwards.
And just to let you know, Saquon has 1,000 yards before ever being touched. Okay, just want to make sure you understand that. For context.
They can't get. This man caught touchdown passes this season as well. Let's not forget that. The brothers are dual threat out of the backfield. Saquon Barkley, if you're going to give it to a running back instead of a quarterback, they have to be Herculean. It has to be sensational. That is what Saquon Barkley has been this year.
So, I want to make sure that I say this. It's Thanksgiving, y'all, so have a little more energy than usual. So when the year started out, right, he didn't want to give it to Lamar. At that time, he said it was Derrick Henry, right? Y'all remember that, right? Okay. He was wrong about that. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember? Okay. Because now Derrick Henry has slowed down the pace. It's, I can't really talk about it. Then you heard him bring up Jared Goff. He was wrong about that. Because Mr. Guy went through like 5 interceptions in a game, right? And he's starting to see that the team goes regardless of or with Jared Goff because they're an absolute, like, wrecking ball of a team. Like, they have everything from top to bottom. Okay. Then he said Josh Allen, the quarterback that my quarterback, Lamar Jackson, had already throttled. Absolutely throttled, right? And when he was trying to make excuses for Joe Burrow, right? He brought up Joe Burrow's defense, right? And this is why it's funny to me. Now, look, we already know what they are. I played this thing particularly to show his hatred. You saw when he was like, come on, man. How y'all still have this man in the MVP? Like, come on now. We can pick somebody else. There's other guys that are more deserving. You notice how you didn't bring up the stats? Usually he's a stat guy. How? You remember what he says as a quarterback? And your description is what? Flinging that football. So now that Lamar has every statistical stat, major stat for quarterbacks, pass completion, touchdowns, yards, all of them, QBR. Now he's up, but he's lost. It's not fair. Now, he's picking Saquon Barkley. What if the Ravens hold Saquon Barkley to 60, 70 yards rushing this week and Lamar throws for 5, 6 touchdowns? Are you then going to have another week where it's somebody else? Who would you pick? I say all that to say this. I've been on this platform and others simply saying that Lamar is hated. Our team is hated. And he's the head of the hate brigade. Because you have to understand and come to the realization that people like Stephen A. Smith do not like to see underdogs win. Even though they come from meek and humble beginnings, they are part of a system, part of an establishment that does not like when individuals shine through the fog of conspiracy or the fog of discrepancy or the fog of lies. You understand where I'm coming from? And that's what the media has done with a player like Lamar Jackson. They've said he can't throw. They said they can't understand his speech. They said that he's too small. They said that he's not smart enough. They say he's not business savvy enough. They called him a mama's boy. They said he can't throw. They said he's not an efficient playmaker. They said he's fragile. All these things. You can go back and check. They've said all of these things. He's proven every single one of them wrong. And he's mad that he's proven because Lamar went up against the system. And Stephen A. Smith is a talking head, a figurehead, a face for and of the system. So now we're all sitting here and hearing this man come up with another MVP that he's hoping can dethrone Lamar. And him say, well, he's lost 4 times. So the Ravens can win out. Even if they lost one more time, whatever if they win out, they'd be 12-5. They'd be 12-5. Y'all realize that, right? No one taking into consideration that they have one of, if not the hardest schedule in the NFL. But nobody cares, right? It's like, oh, well, Josh Allen's beating up the New York Jets. Woo! Great. Woo! He's doing so good. Woo! Lamar's having to face better competition, and he's performing better against that competition. But hey, step up. Shout out to Saquon. Saquon is him. And look, I when everyone was saying they wanted Saquon over Derrick Henry, I wanted Derrick Henry. I specifically said with that lightning and thunder aspect, I was like, bro, the physicality he would bring, I'm taking Derrick Henry over any of them. So that's why I was so ecstatic that he became part of this team. Saquon Barkley was an often injury-riddled player. That's fact. You can't even argue it. So why would I want an injured running back who we will now be paying more money to when we got rid of 2 or 3 other injured running backs? Would they be exciting? Oh, my God, they would be. But the physicality that Derrick Henry brings is unprecedented in the NFL. And he does it at a premium. Because it's not just he's a power back, he could break away. Big plays. Look, man, Stephen A, man, you're just a hater at this point, bro. It's mad funny. And when Lamar's rocking that MV3 and rocking that Super Bowl trophy and everything else, watch his face. Every time they bring up Lamar Jackson's face, that's his face on Thanksgiving. Imagine him on Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a smaller hairline. Your forehead has grown as your line has went back. Good tidings for Christmas. Won't get that ever back. Got him. Oh! But what do you guys think? Do you think Saquon should be the MVP over Lamar Jackson? Do you think he has a true shot to win it this year? If he even slows down a little bit, let me know what you think down in the comment section, please. All right? But as always, that's an episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you for watching. Y'all know how we get down. We have fun and we laugh. But everything we talk about rooted in what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. You know I love the comments. And if you have not done so already, check out The Wunderkind Show's Patreon. Yes. 3 tiers of content goodness. Whatever your consumption, give it a look, give it a try. Let me know what you think. And if you'd like to donate to this channel, help out with equipment and such stuff like that, bottom of the screen, QR code. QR codes to a Cash App. Cash App located in the description of every video that we do. Name of it is money sign, The Wunderkind Show. Super easy. But once again, this is The Wunderkind Show. This is your host, Hunter, signing off. And as always, you know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Happy Thanksgiving. Peace. Yerp.
Finish him, Daddy.
Thanksgiving.